facing, and he knew shit could get bad for him. And of course, he prayed for the best, with hope for the best. And he even had a few more mishaps in between with the baby mom and all that type of shit. But he got past all that.
Like trips to prison, trips to jail, getting arrested does not look good for you. And the fact that you've had similar charges in the past and, other videos and other arrests and mugshots, it just don't look good. It looks like almost like a repeat offender.
This domestic violence, his hands are registered. His hands are considered deadly weapons.
Right.
So he is going to be considered like assault with a deadly weapon as well, other than domestic violence.
Is Gervonta Davis's career over? His latest legal issues are becoming worse? Supporters are wondering whether this is indeed the end. Davis appeared to be conscious of his actions and had previously acknowledged that he required rehabilitation. But now, since he hasn't fought Devin Haney or completed any other significant bouts, he's about to quit boxing. His legacy and even his entire career could be lost as a result of his many run-ins with the police.
Tank is on probation for that. So this will be a violation of his probation, but he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, the question I have is this: what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Blood Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm finna show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcaster that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasters, right? Podcasts, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all this. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News, Boxing Superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up women. Beating up women.
Public personalities are expected to maintain a high level of behavior in and out of the ring when participating in professional sports. Recent events have drawn further attention to Gervonta Davis's personal struggles, especially the troubling events surrounding his child's mother. Every personal action matters to a high-profile athlete, and even a non-physical confrontation may rapidly turn into a major problem. The public's reaction is frequently harsh when an athlete is perceived to possibly abuse their power or physical presence in contexts outside of sports. This case has garnered a lot of attention and worry because of its repetition and the characteristics of the individuals involved.
Bodily harm to her. Davis was arrested about an hour after the alleged incident and booked on a domestic violence battery charge. Jail records show he's still in police custody. Davis is scheduled to fight Hector Luis Garcia in a much anticipated boxing match on January 7th in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's not happening.
I mean,
it's not going to happen, bro. He's not going to fight.
That fight probably canceled.
The fight's going to cancel, and his sponsors, if he's fought, you can't find him guilty right now, but I'm assuming he's going to get a great lawyer. He has money.
Do we know who the woman is? Because I saw some headlines that said baby mama. And I know what we just read it wasn't specific.
That's what I thought it said too. But yeah.
Like yesterday, right?
Yeah.
When the reports came out.
And that's not even just a domestic violence. His hands are registered. His hands are considered deadly weapons.
Right.
So he is going to be considered like assault with a deadly weapon as well, other than domestic violence.
That's facts.
And that never goes good for a boxer, ever.
For it to be domestic violence, though, one thing that Flacco taught me in Suspect was that if it says domestic violence, then that's somebody that you were in a relationship with.
This has had a number of occurrences over the years that have put his reputation and capacity to perform at the top level to the test. He has previously been able to overcome these challenges without suffering a significant setback to his career because to his financial security and legal support. However, given the number and pattern of such difficulties, the current situation seems more dire. When evaluating new incidents, the system often takes past events into account, which might result in a more measured and stringent reaction from the authorities this time. Even his supporters are beginning to fear that the future may not be.
Couldn't come at a worse time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach, and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of being assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcement. Why has there been no official announcement? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely, and the news today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. In what might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed a bit rattled and emotional after the draw, it's either a combination for a great performance or a combination for an absolute train crash.
Such occasions frequently serve as reflection mirrors, and many people think that this may be a pivotal time in Davis's life. There is still worry that earlier lessons were not properly accepted, even though suffering may promote insight and maturity. It has been noted by observers that, in spite of prior experiences, his behavior and approach have not changed much. That opinion is only reinforced by the frequency of comparable incidents. Without a conscious change in perspective, the current situation may affect not just his boxing career, but also his capacity to handle obligations and relationships outside of the ring.
And he knew shit could get bad for him. And of course, he prayed for the best, hope for the best. And he even had a few more mishaps in between with the baby mom and all that type of shit. But he got past all that. But that shows his maturity level too, because he kept his head together through all that shit. You know what I mean? So here we at the finishing line with the trouble. I just want him to finish smart, and you know what I mean, and do what he got to do. Get what he got to get. You know what I mean?
The legal perspective has become more complicated due to the charge's nature, which encompasses several prior cases. A person makes a stronger case for the court to take more active action when they are repeatedly accused of the same thing. Legal experts and analysts agree that if the evidence is in favor, the court in this instance could decide to impose harsher penalties. Any tolerance that may have been granted before may be taken away if previous incidences are present. The legal procedure in sports has significant ramifications for future sporting possibilities and sponsorships in addition to public perception.
Boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been arrested and charged with battery in South Florida. Police allege the Baltimore native assaulted his ex-girlfriend during an argument on Father's Day in Doral, Florida. Davis was arrested and booked by Miami Beach police, and a judge set his bond at $10,000. This is the latest in a long line of run-ins with law enforcement for the World Boxing Association lightweight champ. In 2023, Davis pleaded guilty to 4 traffic offenses in connection with a hit and run that injured 4 people in Baltimore. He spent more than 6 weeks in jail after a judge found out he was serving out his home detention at the Four Seasons Hotel Baltimore and a penthouse condo in Locust Point. Davis has also previously faced allegations of domestic violence, though none of those cases against him have resulted in convictions. We have more on this story on the Baltimore Band.
According to those inside the boxing fraternity, Davis is starting to feel the deeper effects of the high pressure and expectations that accompany professional fighting. There is limited opportunity for emotional equilibrium because to the demanding training, the ongoing public scrutiny, and requirement for mental acuity, the intense attention may have begun to impair the discernment of a young athlete juggling celebrity and personal strain. Supporters believe that a break from the ring or the right kind of assistance might help him find the equilibrium. He needs to manage his private and professional lives more healthily.
Gervonta Davis just got arrested for domestic violence, but this isn't the first time either. Could this have anything to do with what boxing does to your brain? Let's talk about it. So Gervonta Davis has been caught up in legal trouble and domestic violence allegations multiple times over the past few years. See, boxers take repeated hits to the head, not just during their big fights, but while they're sparring throughout training camp as well. Over time, that can cause CTE, a brain disease that messes with memory, emotions, and can cause aggression. CTE can show up in the form of slurred speech or even mood changes. So honest question for y'all is, do you think Gervonta Davis' violence outside of the ring could be linked to CTE? Is this a hidden cost of boxing?
Patterns frequently influence public Opinion, in this instance, is no exception. The recurring frequency of the issues pertaining to Davis's personal life is disappointing many fans and onlookers. They're worried not only about the occurrences, but also about the choice to keep ties that have had negative outcomes in the past. Decisions involving long-term personal ties need to be carefully considered from the perspective of career management. Everything from airline reservations to endorsement agreements may be impacted if a partnership frequently results in negative press and legal issues. Supporters hope that he will use greater discernment going forward.
Gervonta Davis is back on the news, and y'all know I'm a Tank fan, but at this point, dude, I can't even support this guy no more. Gervonta Davis arrested at 3:35 a.m. in the morning in Miami for battery and domestic violence charges. I've seen stuff like this from Tank in the past, and everybody try to look past it, but dude, what are we doing? You got everything in the world, all the money, mega fights, you got all the money, you never have to worry about anything ever in the rest of your life. Why are we doing this? Like, I understand he's from a tough background and everything, but at some point you gotta grow up. You're arguably the biggest name in boxing with all these people looking up to you, especially kids looking up to you, talking about, I want to be like Gervonta Davis. And this is what they see. I don't know what went down, but I see the news article and I just can't support Tank no more. My favorite damn fighter. One of them besides Terrence Crawford. But I don't know what y'all think about the whole situation. I'm just like, man, what are we doing? I guess we're not going to get the Lamont Roach fight now. I don't know. I know he was on probation before and it was going to be another great fight. And it's just crazy, man. But what do y'all think about this? And you guys think he actually did it? And are you guys still going to support Tank after this?
In the past, Gervonta Davis has stated that he wants to be more than simply a boxing champion. According to his interviews, he wants to grow up and have a significant role in his child's life. He has occasionally even made retirement hints, implying that he could choose a calmer existence away from the demanding nature of sports. Even if such theories haven't been proven in a while, the present may spark a renewed interest in them. His choices in the upcoming months might shape his legacy as a person, as well as a boxer, regardless of whether he decides to resume fighting.
What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gem. Checked out the press conference yesterday. Watched the Rise podcast, 2 days ago, watched the Rise podcast response to it yesterday. And I just have to say, I see a lot of people think that, Tank is bluffing with the retirement talk. Could be. I doubt it, though. And I'm going to tell you why I doubt it. When he talked about wanting to seek therapy and the person he has to be in order to be the fighter that he is and wanting to be a softer person, for his daughters, and wanting to seek therapy and become a better person and be with his children and lead a limelight. It seemed like a lot of emotion and passion in that. He seemed like he really meant what he was saying. There's a lot that comes with not only boxing, because, all fighters deal with certain things with being a boxer, physically and mentally. But he has to deal with being a celebrity, an international star on top of that. And I can't even imagine that pressure. So, things get old, your whole life gets scrutinized. No matter what moves he makes, it's going to be accepted by some and, ridiculed by others. And some people grow tired of it. Living a public life ain't for everybody. He's been tremendously successful, whatever he decides to do. I wish him well. I think we need to, watch this Lamont Roach fight closely because we've seen this in the past when Mike Tyson talks about his heart no longer being in it. Or, you heard Buddy McGirt recently come out and say, the fire left him, while he was in camp in the middle of a run. I mean, it happens. And, we don't know how it's going to affect him as a fighter. I would hope, he could find it in himself to be motivated and get prepared, and be the best version of himself. Because, as a Tank fan, I don't want to see him in the ring in any other capacity. If he can't bring himself to be the best version of himself, then I think he should walk away. But regardless of what he decides to do for people like myself,